The U.S. Department of Education just made it official. Nursing, social work, counseling, occupational therapy, physical therapy, teaching degrees, and public health programs are no longer considered professional degrees for federal loan purposes. Let that sink in. The very fields that kept society running during a pandemic, the ones where women show up every single day to care, teach, heal, and hold communities together, have been downgraded. Meanwhile, dentistry, chiropractic, and theology remain safely in the professional category. Starting July 2026, graduate students in these care-based fields will face lower federal loan caps. Instead of accessing higher borrowing limits for professional degrees, they'll be restricted to the standard $20,500 annual grad limit. Translation: more out-of-pocket costs for students, more private loans with worse terms, or abandoning graduate education altogether. And here's what no one's saying out loud. This is strategic. If you're a social worker with a master's degree making less than someone in corporate with a bachelor's, you already know. I know it too. I have 2 degrees and an ESL teaching certification. I've sat in rooms where marketing campaigns I created were handed to supervisors who took full credit and the raise that should have come with it. I've watched how women's work, especially Black women's work, gets absorbed into someone else's success story while we're told to be grateful that we even have a seat at the table. This loan reclassification isn't an accident. It's a continuation of the same pattern. Undervalue the work women do, make it harder to access the credentials required to do that work, and then act surprised when there are workforce shortages. They're systematically rolling back women's financial independence. And professions dominated by women, nurses, teachers, social workers, therapists, are the canaries in the coal mine. Here's the message they're sending. Keep working harder. Keep getting more credentials. Keep proving your worth, but we're going to make it more expensive and less accessible every step of the way. They want you to believe the only path forward is another degree, another certification, another hoop to jump through. And when you can't afford it because they've capped your loans and you're already drowning in debt from the first degree, well, that's on you. But here's what I need you to understand. This is designed to keep you exactly where you are: tired, overworked, undervalued, dependent on a system that doesn't respect you. The women I'm talking to, the women who teach 3rd grade with $4,000 in savings, the women who've been invaluable executive assistants for 8 years, but still can't take a real vacation, the women who raised other people's children and are wondering when they get to build something for themselves. You already know the traditional path isn't working. You've showed up. You've mastered your craft. You were reliable, excellent, and indispensable. And look at where it got you. I'm going to tell you something that might make you uncomfortable. You don't need another degree. What you need is to stop building someone else's wealth and start building your own. I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow. I'm saying it's time to start thinking like an owner, not a worker. It's time to audit your resume for transferable skills and figure out how to turn your expertise into something no one can reclassify, cap, or take away from you. You know what's never happened in my life? My Bitcoin mining rig didn't tell me I needed another certification to earn passive income. The AI tools I use to create content for my YouTube business didn't require a master's degree. The stocks I own in the companies whose products I use to build my business didn't ask to see my credentials. Assets don't care about your resume. They care about whether you own them. Black women are the creators of the culture. We set the trends in fashion, hair, beauty, food, music. Everyone copies us. Everyone profits from us. But we've been building other people's wealth while ours stays stagnant. I'm done with that. And if you're here watching this, I think you might be too. Here's what I know from my own journey. After health issues forced me to leave the career ladder, I took part-time jobs. Then 2020 hit and my income was cut off because of the shutdown. I was fortunate. I had discovered Bitcoin back in 2017 and I just held on to it. That digital asset, one I owned outright, kept me afloat until I could move back home to more stability. That's when I realized something. I didn't need to climb back onto someone else's ladder. I needed to build wealth on assets I owned, not an employee's salary that could disappear at any moment. So I started experimenting with things that had a high chance of trending in the future. That meant cryptocurrencies, cash-producing websites, AI tools for content creation. I bought a Bitcoin mining rig through my LLC, and now it generates $300 to $400 in passive income every month. I'm building my brand on YouTube, teaching other creators how to use AI to scale their content so they can focus on owning, not just creating. This is what ownership looks like, not another credential, not another rung on a ladder that keeps moving further out of reach. You've been told that working hard, being reliable, getting the right degrees would lead to security and respect. But every time you get close, they move the goalposts. Another degree requirement, another certification, another budget cut, another reclassification. The real reparations that you've been waiting for, it's you deciding to stop playing a rigged game, take your talents and build where you are appreciated. It's learning about assets and ownership. It's practicing investing, even if you start by buying micro shares to get into the shareholder mindset. It's moving from employee to self-employed to business owner. It's using AI not to replace yourself, but to enhance your skills and find companies to invest in. It's using social media to market a business, no matter how small it is at first. It's starting to think like an owner, not just a worker. Let me be clear, this will be a challenging transition. Building a brand and a business from scratch always is. But the alternative? Less freedom, less income, fewer options. This is a guarantee if you stay on a path they've designed for you. This loan reclassification is a message. They're telling you that your work isn't professional enough to deserve investment. They're telling you to accept less. But here's the thing about being underestimated. It gives you permission to move differently. While they're busy devaluing your degrees, you can be busy building assets they can't touch. While they're restricting your access to loans, you can be redirecting even 10% of what you're already spending on fashion, beauty, and other fun things into things that work for you. Things like Bitcoin or stocks or your own business. The women in targeted industries, nurses, teachers, social workers, therapists, administrative professionals, you've got to start moving now, not 5 years from now when the policy's effect is in full force, not when you have it all figured out. Right now. Start looking at your resume and auditing it for transferable skills. Start talking about your thoughts and solutions to professional industry problems on social media. Start learning about assets and ownership. Start using AI, not just to make your current job easier, but to figure out how to build something that's yours. I know you're tired. I know you've been giving to everyone else. I know the last thing you want is someone telling you that you need to work harder. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying it's time to work differently. Stop trying to prove your worth to people who've already decided you're non-professional. Start building a brand in the spaces that you already love. that you create the culture for: fashion, travel, beauty, food, wellness. Use AI to scale your professional skills that you already have and build digital assets you own that create income that you can travel with. Your softness is your sovereign superpower, but sovereignty requires ownership, and ownership requires you to stop waiting for permission from a system that's already told you what it thinks you're worth. You've already worked hard enough. You've already shown up over and over for institutions that don't value you the way that they should. This is about more than money. It's about creating lives of ease, beauty, and possibility. It's about being the culture and owning the capital. If this particular rant resonated with you, then I encourage you to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Are you feeling the pressure of being pushed out of professional degrees? Are you already on the path of building something for yourself? This is all I'd like to say for today, and I hope to see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.